Well, hi guys, Wild Trekker here, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Build series. We're in our creative mode, and you may remember from last time we basically fixed up this village here, and we got our villagers out. They're communicating well, started interacting with them. Still got a few tweaks to do, such as the garden and things like that. Yeah, down here we've got this garden sort out and fix. There's a couple of minor things like that we've got to do. But I think generally the rest of it is good. I took away, if you saw my other video about my Let's Play series, I placed a letter Z here, which stood for Zanecraft, so I've kind of removed that out of the village. However, I thought, as an ode to Zane and Zanecraft, the other server I'm playing on, I thought I would leave that somewhere in the village. So there we go, we dedicated this village to Zane and Zanecraft. So I've got a few tweaks, but I felt I needed a break from this. As you know, we've been working on a few different areas on this server. Over here I've made a big project, and we've kind of flattened I think 3/4 of it, so I've got to fill in that water there. And as if I come over here, you'll notice that this area has been flattened, and I've basically started on this area. Used a bit of TNT in the middle, but still got to flatten that area before I can start that big project, and we'll reveal that a little bit later on. But what I thought I'd do is come back over to this area. So we've got a village over there. That's where that's going to be, and you remember I built my water slide and boat lift here. So and the reason I did that is because I kind of saw this as a beginning of a theme park, because I've always wanted to do some kind of fun theme park within Minecraft, do various bits and pieces. So this is like the beginning of it. I've got a few other ideas I want to do in here. So for example, I want to do a zoo. I'm going to do a collection of different species on Minecraft and put them all together in a zoo. And I also want to build, for anybody in the UK, you may know, or even outside the UK, may have heard of a place called Blackpool. Blackpool was somewhere I went as a kid. It's a town on the coast in England, and they're quite famous for their fun park. Before the likes of Alton Towers and all the rest of it, we had the big roller coasters there, and they got the Big Dipper, which is a double roller coaster, wooden type roller coaster, which I think you have a lot in the US as well. And I always wanted to build one of those, so I'm going to build a minecart roller coaster which is sort of based around that Big Dipper style. So that's something I'm going to do. But I kind of figured I wanted to do something else as well, inspired by some of the big creations I've seen around on YouTube. I wanted to build a roller coaster that kind of visited wonders of the world, or that kind of thing. So I'm going to use this top area here for another roller coaster ride. But the idea is actually not just to build a roller coaster, but to actually build a tour. And I'm going to build on it, not my own creations, but based on other people who build, and I'll mention them as I do it. But I want to put a few different wonders in the world. I saw a few New Year videos as well going up with fireworks and that kind of thing. So I'd like to build an Eiffel Tower. I think that'd be quite good. I want to build things like Big Ben. I'd like to build the pyramids, or at least one of the pyramids, and I'm basically going to build a roller coaster around it. So I'm going to build these things first, and then put the roller coaster in place with a roller coaster station, and make it a fun themed ride, a bit like sort of Vegas, where they have I think one of their casinos has got lots of miniature versions of the wonders of the world. So I'm going to kind of do a similar thing. Maybe I'll put in a Niagara Falls and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to in fact that's quite a good place to build that, big falls going around there. But I'm going to build these different things, and then we'll put the roller coaster around it. So I think that'll be quite good fun to do. I've got quite a nice flat area up here, which is quite good, because I do want a fairly flat area to build some of these things on. Things like the Eiffel Tower, they need quite a big flat area to actually build them on. So I'm going to use up here. I did look further on down there below, but it doesn't stop the roller coaster going up and down. It'll just mean it'll be a bit themed. Not had a look over here, so it looks like we've got a swamp over this side. It's lagging a bit, which is probably because it's building it for the first time, so somewhere to explore later on. But no, so this is going to be the theme park. Not quite sure where the entrance to the park is going to be, but I'm kind of looking over here, earmarking this to go to be the zoo area. There's a nice natural already sort of hollowed out area, so if I can roof this off somehow, make a really nice spectacular roof on it, and then I'm going to put in a large zoo. I think we'll wall it off or something like that, so it's going to be a theme park in there. So yeah, so that's what I want to kind of work on. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm probably going to build this in between doing my area over there. It's just going to be a kind of a break from that rather than the same stuff all the time. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is find an area where I'm going to start off with, and I think I'll start off with the Eiffel Tower. That's going to be overlooking this. I think it's got to be quite spectacular and overlooking, so I'll probably use this area over here. Maybe remove that top layer, have a nice flat area, because I think off the top of my head the feet of the Eiffel Tower are about 5 by 5 blocks, and I think there's about 13 blocks between them, so what's that going to be, about 23 blocks by 23 blocks, so I need a nice area like that, nice and flat, that's overlooking this, and we'll get started on the Eiffel Tower. So I think I'm going to start that. I'm going to basically start taking away this this bit here, making this nice and flat, and then once I do that, we'll come back and start building the Eiffel Tower. And as far as I know, it's a fairly simple build. I will kind of go through it all, but there are tutorials on there, and I'll probably put a link through to the guy that's done the tutorial on building this, and then we'll put a few other famous landmarks in as well and get the roller coaster going around it. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute once I've got this area nice and flat. Okay, so we've got the area marked out. I flattened it down, and what I did was actually to put down in the area the feet of the Eiffel Tower. So this is really where it's going to sit, and the building materials, we're going to go with original design. And the design was actually by VDocs Toll. So go and check out his YouTube channel. He's done a few different buildings. So we're basically using clay. I did look at whether we actually should use a different coloured clay, and I'm not quite so sure. And we've also got different stained clay, but I'm going to go with the grey, because I think the grey is very much that sort of silver kind of look, metallic look, so I think it does look quite good. So we've kind of got the 4 areas here marked out to where it's going to be, and we'll change the base of this. We'll probably use stone or something like that to make it look like pavement, but for now we'll keep it as it is. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll start on this one here, and basically we've got a 5 by 5 area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5, and that's how you start off. And then the next level is simply going to a 4 by 4 area, so nice and simple to start off with. And this pattern obviously gets repeated all the way around, and the idea is that you keep this side, the outside, as the step. So in there you can obviously see we've gone straight down. Then I believe the next bit again is to come in 1, and again we're going to do a 4 by 4 area. So let's come there. So that means we've got to extend this out slightly to make it a 4 by 4. 3, 4, excellent. Okay, but we're going to make that a doubled layer area, so it's actually going to be a 4 by 4 by 2, so it starts lifting it up by 1. Okay, there we go, and then we simply do another 4 by 4 coming in 1 as we did before. So let's do this, try and do this without the flying element of it. How successful I will be going up really high, I don't know. And I guess if you're doing this, you're going to have to use some kind of construction on it if you weren't going to do it in Creative, using lots of blocks. But anyway, so again, this is a double layer. Okay, so let's go and have a look at that. So there we go. So that is the start of it. So basically we've got a 5x5 on the bottom. We've got a 4x4 going in one, and then we've got a double 4x4 going in one again, and then above that another double 4x4 going in one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, as we've come to that point there, I'm now going to go over and basically do the same to these other 3 legs, and then when I've done that, we'll come back again and go on to the next stage. Okay guys, so we're back. We've done those 4 legs and it's time to start on the next bit. So basically what we need to do is not break the blocks, not use those either, but to use the correct thing. So what you see, I've just kind of outlined here as well a bit of a pavement area with some lights at the bottom of it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the lighting on this because the tutorial that I'm following doesn't actually have the lighting involved, but I'm going to find a way of lighting this, I think. But I kind of like the redstone around the bottom at the moment, so I'll stick with that design, and we're going to make this whole area pavement at one stage. But let's carry on with the building of the tower itself. Now this next layer is going to be a 6x6 layer, so we're going to end up with quite an overhang really. So we're overhanging by 1, 2, 3 blocks each way, but again we're still leaving that layer there like that, so we're coming in by 1 block again. There we go, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to end up with a 6x6 area. Now what this should do when we've finished it, and this will tell me whether we've actually done this correct or not, whether we've been counting the blocks correctly or not, and I'll show you why. So if I quickly zoom over here, okay, what we should end up with, so if we go 1, 2, 3, and then I don't want to be flying, come down. Okay, so if we then do another 1, 2, 3, what we should end up with is basically a 3 block gap between there and there, which essentially that is. Anything more, and we can test that. 1, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, so we basically will end up with a 3x3 gap, and what it will give us is actually a cross shape on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do the others of these towers and save some time, otherwise it's going to be a really, really long video, and we'll come back again in a minute. Okay, so I've put the 6x6 block on each one, and then the next stage, once we've got the completion, as I say, you should have this, if we look at it from above, this cross shape. But what we're going to do now is basically create a fill layer. So and this is literally going to be filled in. Okay, so what we're basically going to do is go all the way around, leaving 1 block on the edge, like so, and we're basically going to be joining all these things together like this. Okay, now the thing is, what we're going to actually do is make this 2 blocks high. Okay, so it's going to be 2 blocks all the way around the edge, but not only is it going to be 2 blocks all the way around the edge, but we're going to fill in all the middle bit as well. Okay, so it's going to be literally a 2 block platform on top of these 4 legs, and it's just going to basically build all the 4 bits together. So I'm going to carry on doing that, filling it in, and just literally go all the way around the outside, leaving one layer width there, go too high, oops, that's no good, too high, and fill in the middle, but don't do that. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of this, and we'll come back again. Okay, so we've put on those two layers. I've done that, and it basically builds this all together now, so which is really good. Now the next part I'm going to do a variation, because in the original build, which I'm not sure when it was done, but the idea was then to put another layer on top of this with a one layer gap there between, so basically fill all this in, and then on top of that was to put some glass basically, and then the idea was to lay this glass out like this, and that kind of gave this observation area, and then on top of that was to put another layer of clay and fill that in as a roof. So that's the original design, and you can go and see that in the video if you like, and you can copy that if you want to. So that was the original design of the I guess observation deck. This is the sort of the first observation deck. So I've kind of been having a play around to see if I can vary that, because I've been to the Eiffel Tower a few times and been around Paris and that sort of thing, and my memories of the observation deck is actually it was more railings and that kind of thing and looking out. So I've kind of tried to do a variation of that. So what I've basically done is I've still built up that same layer as was done in the original video, just basically using half slabs here, and I like these because they give that sort of pavement kind of feel to it. So I've done the same as that layer there, but rather than just putting glass on that layer and trying to put glass out again, I've kind of sort of used these quartz full steps actually, basically upside down. So and that was fairly easy to start off, because all I really did was put down one block of dirt and then come underneath, and you can start doing that. So and that enabled me then to push the windows out, because if you look at this layer here where I originally did it, the glass was pushed out to this level, and that's what we need to do, is actually get the glass out to that level. So that kind of gives us that feel of pushing the glass out again. I've used stained glass. I've used the grey stained glass rather than the white, or the clear rather. I don't really like the clear, to be perfectly honest. And initially I encased the entire bit with glass, but as I say, I seem to remember that the observation deck was really without that bit. So I've kind of sort of started off by doing that, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this design and see how it looks. It's kind of a twist, if you like, on the design that he's come up with. But I'm going to do that and see how it looks, and to be perfectly honest, if it looks really, really bad, then you're not going to be watching this video. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to do it the proper way. So but what I want to do in addition to this, and this is again a kind of an addition, because this really, if you ever go to the Eiffel Tower, there's lifts that come up through the legs. They kind of bring you this area, and then this is kind of a room here, and this is an observation deck outside. So what I'd really like to do is put some lighting up in this layer, but also then if I've got this too wide all the way around, I can then kind of build a room inside. So rather than seeing all the way through, you're going to see it like the proper Eiffel Tower, really, where you can't actually see through. There's going to be perhaps a wooden room inside or something like that, and that'll just enable us to do that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, see how it looks, and assuming it all works out, you'll watch this video, and assuming it doesn't, you won't, in which case I'm talking to myself. Okay, I'll come back in a moment. Okay, so we've finished that layer now, and yeah, I think it looks quite good in terms of there. We'll see how it looks with the rest of the build when it finishes off, and as you can see, I've actually built an area completely inside of there. And I guess if you wanted to, you could build ladders up to this as well and make it an entrance in. We're going to see how we do that in a bit, because I'm not quite sure how my minecart system is going to interact with this monument yet. So anyway, that bit's done, so let's get on to the next bit. Now the next bit needs us to start building legs again. So what we're going to do is build 3 blocks. So 1 block in, and we're going to build 3 blocks. So we've got the edge around there, and we're going to do that on all the sides basically, and make this start of the next lot of legs going up. Okay, going to do this quickly, and once we've done this, the next bit is fairly simple because we just then start building upwards quite quickly. So it's not as tapered as the other side would be. So once we've done that, we then go in one block again, but exactly the same, 3 blocks. Okay, so you start off with 3 by 3 all the way around, and then you do an off-centered 3 by 3 again. So we've done 3 there, done 3 there. However, this 3 by 3, we're actually going to take it up 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. Okay, so including the one that started it, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're basically going to do that all the way around. Now, if you're short on materials, you don't have to do the center block, which is kind of handy because you don't really see it, and you could, again, use it for ladders. The actual Eiffel Tower, you can climb it manually if you want. If you really want to go up those steps and not take their lifts, you can do that. So yeah, leave that middle one empty and just cap it off at the top. Okay, so you should end up with a tower that looks like that. So it's a 3 by 3 and it's a 3 by 3 by 5. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do that with the rest of them, and then I will be right back. Okay, so now we've got those towers done. Remember, we had a 3 by 3 and then we had an offset 3 by 3, which was then 5 high. What we now need to do is build the second observatory. So we're going to build across here again, just like we did before, 1 block in. Okay, so it's going to be 1 block in from the edge. That's the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to do that all the way around, which isn't too bad now at this level because it means that you can walk to the edge and build things without falling off too much, which is quite handy. So we'll carry on doing that, and what we're going to do is actually build it 2 high. Okay, so it's going to be 2 blocks high, and we're literally going to fill all this in, all in the center, everywhere, so it makes a solid floor and a solid roof for the area below, and it's all going to be 2 blocks high. So I'm just going to carry on doing that, and then we'll come back when we're finished. Okay, I've made a slight alteration to what I said I was going to do. So I did the first layer in clay, but I've actually doing the second layer in these stone half slabs, just because this is going to be the floor. And like we had on the other observatory, we had these in the viewing area on the floor, and we actually use the steps as well. So it's a slight variation of what we did before. In case you wonder what this is, I've got a redstone lamp there which is lighting underneath, and I'm just going to light that with that, so that's lit up from underneath, and then that's not going to matter because we're building on top of that, so it's going to be hidden in a minute. But what I do need to do is start some steps around here without falling off the edge. So yeah, so these are going to be basically upside down steps, which is going to be fun to put in. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and then once I've done that, I'm going to have to build a little bit of scaffold around on this one to do this. Yeah, so I'm going to do that all the way around, like that, and then what I'm then going to do is put glass back on this layer here, like we did before, but we're higher up now, health and safety and all that. We're going to make this a fully enclosed glass area, okay, and then on top of that, once we've done it, if I show you, we're then going to put these half slabs. Okay, so that's what we're going to do basically all the way around. So that's going to make the roof, or at least the top of the observation area anyway. So we're just going to, the top of the glass is going to be these half slabs all the way around. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be doing. We've got the half slabs here on the edge of those, so where the overhang is, we've got the steps, then we've got the 2 layers of glass, and then we've got the slabs on top. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around, and we shall come back. Okay, so finished that area down there, but what I've done is I've actually left it as 1 half block rather than 2 half blocks, because what we're then going to do is fill the rest of this roof area in with clay again, and I think that looks quite good as a taper on there. So we kind of want this taper going on, and you can see what I did in the middle there, because I had my redstone block illuminating the redstone lamp underneath. So I kind of made a little step area, seating area, which effectively will hide the light when you're looking at it from down below, but it'll illuminate the room, which is quite nice. So yeah, I kind of left it as that. So we just fill in the rest of this roof, and then we need to start on the final pointy bit going up towards the top. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to make 4 more legs again. We can only make these 2 by 2, so we're going to do that very quickly, and these are going to have to be 5 high again. So you can see the pattern developing here, and we're going to put one in the middle as well. Okay, so and I found the easy way of doing this is to make all of them 2 by 2, which is nice and easy, and then when you go up another 3, 1, 2, 3, it's actually easy to reach them all without doing lots of bouncing, jumping and all the rest of it. So yeah, so I'm going to do those other legs, and I shall come straight back. Okay, so once that's done, we just fill in this top area just so we've got a nice platform, and then we now need to start making this final tower ascent. So what we're going to do is make this sort of 5 block effect. So again, we're just going in 1 in from the edge. Now this bit is going to be quite tall, so that's 1 block there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that's where we want to go. Back down again, and then we've basically got to repeat that for these 5 pillars. And one thing we will do once we get up there is basically fill that gap in as well. So we'll basically end up going all the way up 5 lots of 16 and fill the top in, so we've got a nice level sort of effectively what will be a 3 by 3 at the top there, won't it? So yeah, just going to finish those other 2. Okay, so now we're going to build our final viewing platform, and see if we can do this again. Do it from the top this time. So I'm just going to literally go around the edges again with these steps, because I like that design, and that way I can use glass panes. So the glass panes need to be out here, although I wonder, thinking on my feet here as we go along, I wonder if we actually use glass, because we're on the very, very top. I wonder how this would look. Okay, so I've not tried this, so I'm literally trying it as we're doing it. That way it's less visible, but we still have the same desired effect. So what I'm then going to do is put these glass all the way around. So yeah, I think that'll work, because I think quite like the effect you get sometimes with these buildings where they put these glass panes in and you stand on them and you look all the way down. I've seen it up in the Alps, up on the Jungfrau, and when you're up on there you got the cages, and I think some of the big towers, Blackpool Towers, and I'm sure the ones the big towers in most cities where you can go up and have an observation point now, they have this safety glass that you can stand on and look down. So I think we'll modernize this idea and do that. I do hate placing glass though. What I probably ought to do, because what we're going to do is put these half slabs on them again. It's too close. And there we go. So if we put those all the way around first, that'll give me somewhere to place the glass on. Yeah, you see, not as smart as I look. Okay, so let's get that finished, and then we'll be ready to do the final bit of the tower. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is do that all the way around, finish the glass. I won't bore you with it, and we'll come back in a second. Okay, so I've done that roof bit, and what we're going to do is leave it again single slab around the edge, and then a whole block of slabs here, so it's 2 slab blocks in the middle. And again, I've left a little hole. You don't have to do this. Normally you would just fill that bit in and it's done. However, I want to hide some lighting in here, so I'm going to put a redstone light there. I'm going to put this block of redstone in there, and then this is going to be hidden behind all this. Okay, so we'll basically finish up with that layer. Let me jump up here. Okay, so we should end up with the half slabs on top of the glass, and I'll just show you that quickly so you can see it. So there we go. So basically we put that glass all the way on the outside. We then put the panes around it. We've then put a half slab on top of the glass, and then the 3x3 area is filled in as a complete roof, which enables us to put this block on top. Okay, so now all that really remains is to actually do the final pillar going all the way up. So we shall do that next, and basically it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Hang on, should we do that? Back down. Let's do that again. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is it, apart from a block on the top. However, I want a light on the top here. I think it's got to have it, so I'm not going to use redstone because it can't really fit in the powering for it. So I'm just going to put a glowstone block on the top so we can see how that looks, and it should illuminate at night. Okay, so let's have a look at that, see how that looks and finished. Yeah, it's quite good. Actually, there's one bit that we've missed and not done quite right, and that's this bit down here. Okay. Is it there? Is it there? I think that's slightly too high. Okay, I'm just going to check this out. We might have to do a little bit of alteration to this bit here. I think we've got to build out like a thing like that, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, leave it with me. I'll come back in a second. Okay, so yeah, I think I've worked it out. So what we need to do, I've done it on that side, we'll do it on here, is basically this top layer needs to come down one. We went up too high. Leave the middle bit in though, okay, but basically this should only be 3 high, 4 high, not 5 high. So we've gone too high on there. Oops, put that back in there. Is that right? Just take that out for a minute. I think it is. I think we do fill it in. But basically, so this top layer basically needed to come off all the way around the edge. We leave that block in though, and then we come back out too. So yeah, slight alteration there. And then what we end up doing is building like a doorway really. So 1, 2, 3, 3, and probably build it from the bottom upwards. would be more useful. 2, 3, and then literally putting these half slabs over the top of it. So we'll do that here as well. So yeah, there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and half slabs over the top of it. And one more to do around here. And then I think 1, 2, 3, we have finished our Eiffel Tower, which I might have a look at the lighting on it and see what I need to tweak, if I tweak anything, because this area is obviously a little bit dark. So could I get away with putting in some kind of lighting in here, hiding it in this area? I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to have a look at that. Okay, so let's have a look at that. We'll look at it from a distance, see how it looks, and yeah, I think that's pretty good actually. Nicely lit up at night as well, which is really cool, so it'll look good during the day. I do like the observatories that I've put in there, made it slightly different from before. So yeah, so that's the first one built. We've got a bit of decoration to do on it, but you guys don't need to see that. But at least you can have a go yourself at doing that and seeing how you build your own Eiffel Tower. And I think we're going to do a Big Ben. I've seen that tutorial, and we're going to do the pyramids, and we might even try a Sphinx and something along those lines. So yeah, there you go. As I said before, a big thanks to Vdox Toll, who was the guy who came up with this particular design, and I've kind of followed some of his tutorial and then edited it myself a little bit. But I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please do click on like. Don't forget to subscribe, and do leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and if you've got any ideas to go with that. And likewise, if you've got any other ideas for the theme park, you know roughly what I said at the beginning of the video, that we're going to be designing for the theme park. So we've got 2 roller coasters planned. One's going to go around all these wonders of the world. Another one's going to be an old rickety wooden roller coaster. We've got our rapids, as we call it here. It's a rapids ride. Might do a log flume, I guess, is the other thing to do. I'm not quite sure about that one. What else do you think we should have in here? We've got the zoo planned over there. Are there any other wonders of the world do you think we should add in there? So leave a comment. I'd be great to incorporate some of your ideas into this. So my name's Wild Trekker, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next episode. Okay guys, I'm back quickly because I forgot to do something, and that is to put a sign. So let's put that up one. Design concept, and a big thanks to this guy, because it's your design that's enabled me to do it, although I made a few alterations, and if you're watching this, let me know what you think. Yeah, so there's the alterations, a bit of lighting in there, basically made the observatories different. Should I have done this in a different colour? I don't know. There you go. Okay, so I've been Wild Trekker, and thanks for watching.